Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm right in my hands. This is Void Rivals number 6. Void Rivals is written by Robert Kirkman. Lorenzo De Felici is the artist. Matheus, Lopes is the colorist. Rus Wooton is the letter. Alright, so Void Rivals kicked off the Energon universe from Skybound, the reboot or relaunch of Transformers and G.I. Joe under the Skybound imprint. Or not imprint, but publishing line. And it's been interesting. So Void Rivals, up to pretty much the previous issue, was like guest starring every single issue, where what Transformer character will show up in this issue and tease its greater connection. Well, in the end, the story is really about two people who are clearly have a history together, and they're warring over resources, and two of their agents wind up crashing on a planet, having to work together, went back to one of their sides, got captured, and now it's their escape. Is this issue is all about their escape. Kind of doing the short version. We also found out that the two warring sides are kind of in on it in some ways, and clearly don't want to get back together for some reason. We don't really know why. Other than maybe profit for the two. Who freaking knows? But it's been an interesting series so far. Thankfully, the previous issue started getting us away from the guest appearance and kind of building the series on its own and having to stand on its own. This issue kind of continues that. And while it's a good piece of the puzzle, I actually don't think it's necessarily a good issue on its own. It has it's our two main characters on the run after being captured and trying to get to safety, and of course being pursued. That's pretty much the issue. It takes us through this world, Zerta, or whatever the hell it's called. I always forget the actual land or the planet it's called, or nation it's called, or whatever you want to call it. It could have really taken us through it and given us a better idea of society, how it's built, and the world, but it's just really quick, and it gets some teases that the government doesn't care about the people. We don't go see too much into it. We see some people suffering. We get hints that the other side's not maybe like that, but who knows. It teases out this greater world as opposed to maybe spending the issue really building out that world. I think it would have been maybe stronger with a discussion between more of a discussion as to where the society stands, how things work, what the issues are. Instead, it dances around all that, and I think for that it's a little bit weaker. I still don't care necessarily about these two warring factions. It just feels like a different version of Autobots versus Decepticons. I think there's not necessarily enough world building at this point. It's getting there, but getting there really slowly, and I think this issue could have been a really solid one with some good revelations. The other thing is this is the end of the arc, and I don't know if it really excites me about getting to that next arc. It ends on, of course, on a moment that feels like it would work really in an animated series, but I don't know if it necessarily works as a comic. They're going into danger. What a shock! They're going to be pursued. What a shock! And that's where it ends. And I think ending it like that, waiting for the next season, kind of works. But ending a comic arc and waiting for the next arc, I don't know why it doesn't. I think work quite as well. And I think partially might be partially because the danger's never really set up as much. Whereas in a cartoon, there might have been some more animation, made it feel like they're more in danger currently and had to go into this unknown to get away, but of course that's dangerous. There's just an emotional hit that's not quite there. So yeah, it's a weird one. I think it's a good issue as part of the arc and the story. It's not a good issue on its own. I think it's my general take. The art actually continues still being, I think, really fascinating and interesting. There's just a style that's cold. It feels very I said in my written review brutal architecture. Went to a college that was based off of brutal architecture. At least some of it was, and it's just it really reminds me of this really cold, lifeless thing where it's just very straight lines, and the colors make it seem that way with the grays and the greens and the blues. It just, there's a coldness about it that I think is really, really interesting, and it's a different coldness that exists in Cybertron, and then of course you got Earth as a third that's very full of life. So the three different settings I think are really intriguing. The one thing that does stand out about the issue is there's a bit more about the Quintessons, and they're dealing with the Skuxoid, and there's hints that all these characters might be somehow connected to the Quintessons, which I think there's potential there. So it's going to be, I think, really interesting to see where that plays out. But overall, like, it's an okay issue. I think if you've been reading the series, it's fine. Hopefully by when the next issue comes out, it's going to get a little bit more interesting. But, like, as is, it's also one of those I'm just like, it feels like it exacerbates some of the issues with this series storytelling. It needs a little bit, I think, a little bit more pacing and a little bit more world building, I think, is the two issues. I've yet to be given a reason why I give a crap about these characters or this world. So yeah, like it needs like all cards on the table at this point, I think. You can go get this out in comic shops. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code, tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We have some links where you can purchase our own. There'll be affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage. By doing that, you'll support our site. So thank you. Speaking of support, just watch our videos, support us. As always, thank you for that. If you're into comics, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.